All right. We are live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Hangout with Team in the Black. I'm here. I'm your host, Matty D, here with our other hosts here, Max Hugh, Haas, and John Newton. Hope everyone's having a good week. It is middle of the week, hump day, weather's crazy. But let's jump right into it. Tonight, we have some great stuff. Max is going to present some ninja tactics that he's learned over the past couple of days after being iced in down in good old Dallas, Texas, which he'll go into more detail about. So I don't even know what he's covering. I'm excited to learn what he's going to go down. So as Max told me earlier today, get ready to get ninja. Whatever that's supposed to mean, but I'm sure it's something exciting. So with that being said, I'm just going to jump right into Max Uhas. I hand it to you, my friend.
All right, happy hump day, guys. And all right. So this is here. Wait, I want to get some good lighting. I don't think I'm gonna get good lighting. I'm just gonna go. All right. So basically, yeah, I need better lighting. Okay. So this is what I've been doing because basically, and Matt kind of explained this all to you. And just first and foremost, guys, I just want to. I've been kind of traveling back and forth this last week or two. I was in Boston, and it was awesome. And I got up to go. And this is kind of the cool thing about running your own business because you get to travel and do cool stuff. So I was in Boston, and I was in New Hampshire, and I was in Maine, and I was in Portland, and I was doing all this fun stuff. And it was snowing every single day. And by the time I was there, I was just like, F this. The snow sucks because it was. I don't know if you guys watched the weather, but I don't think anybody could have ignored the weather going on up in New England. And then I got back here to Dallas, and it was like one beautiful day, and then it like snow and ice, snow and ice. So like literally, I've been kind of like trapped in my house for 4 days. So instead of like complaining about it, even though I was, decided to do something pretty awesome, which was like be productive while I was kind of iced in. So I'm just gonna give you a little backstory on this. So what I ended up doing was basically like revamping and researching some other bloggers because it was, and this all kind of goes back into niche blogging. Because realistically, the only way you're really going to succeed blogging, because I found some really cool stats, and I'm going to share this with you guys tonight too. But the majority of, because there are, and actually, I'm going to try to keep this like as much. There are over 164 million blogs online, and 71% of them get less than 5,000 visitors a month. So I don't know if you really know what that means, but that's less than 200 hits like a day. You know what I mean? That a week, and it just and realistically, if you're going to be blogging, you know what I mean, and I mean if you're in Empower and you're doing everything else that we're doing, if you're only getting 5,000 visitors a year, like that kind of sucks. I mean, it's great if you don't really know what you're doing, but if you want to be like an authority site and you want to create like and brand yourself and do everything else that we've been talking about, like you need to get it up to about 5,000, 10,000, potentially. Hell, man, if you want to go Neil Patel on them, you want 800 million people visiting your site, you know, a year, which breaks down to, I don't even know what that breaks down to. I mean, it's definitely more than 8,000 or 8 million people, a month hitting your site. So that's what you want to kind of build. So I started tweaking and brainstorming some pretty cool stuff, and I went back and I went through some of the old videos and the old training things that we had done, and I got to read on the plane and whatever. So I'm just going to tell you this: there is one book, absolutely one book, that if you guys plan on doing any type of social media stuff, actually I have it in my bag. No, I don't, because I took it out because I was reading it again. But it's a Jab, 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 Right Hook, okay, by Gary Vaynerchuk, and it is amazing. Like the stuff that he teaches in there, so simple but so for real. Like there are so many ways to drive traffic, and there's the SEO stuff that obviously like can be a little bit of a pain in the ass, when you're first doing it. But when it comes to like social media and social media marketing, like you want to, there's a reason we have these share buttons and these like buttons and this other stuff, because realistically what you want to do is create. And this is something that I was reading yesterday, and it really kind of fired me off on like this really weird, just kind of like focused tangent. Writing good content isn't as important as writing content that people want to read. Let me just kind of refrain that, because there was a guy, and this guy's, he's super successful blogging, but he wrote a post where he's like, I thought I was writing great content, and the guy had a master's degree and had all this other stuff, and he was a doctor, and he started this health blog, and he had some really great points and some really great things, but nobody wanted to read what he was writing about. So he figured out that realistically, it's not even so much like writing great content is great, but you have to figure out who your archetype is. You have to figure out who wants to read what you're writing, and then at the same time, it's like how to attract people to want to read what you're writing. Because I don't know about you guys, man, but I think realistically, before you hit publish, you should publish something that you love. You know what I mean? You shouldn't just bang out a post and just do it. And yeah, I'm just gonna tell you, the 21-day blogging challenge is great to get into the habit of blogging. But once you do that, I think realistically, just fine tune your content. I spent literally 4 hours yesterday on a blog post, and it was only a 600-word blog post. But what I did with this post, I'm just going to show you. Okay. So anyway, so this is kind of what I'm going to tweak here. Okay. And I'm going to go to my latest, greatest, and I'm going to put this on the screen share. And hope you guys. So who's excited? I'm excited. So anyway, screen share all. So I'm just going to show you my latest little crazy bit of nonsensical brainstorming that I've been doing here. Okay. So this is what I figured out. So these things right here, by the way, I changed my site name because after the whole screw up thing with I'm turning off Facebook. With HostGator, I couldn't wait to. I didn't want to keep the building a brand thing, so I bought a new domain, and it's called thatbloggingthing.com, right? So everything has been forwarded to that. Now, what I've done, if you notice, right, great quotes and quotables, thatbloggingthing.com. Now you go down here, need some great, and this wasn't the best post, okay? But what I did with this is I found some pictures from some really awesome people. I took Dave Wood and I photoshopped him a little bit, and I took his quote and I put it on there, and I put the name of my blog on there. And then I pinned it to Pinterest. And I did that with Aaron Rashkin. I did that with Chris Rushlow. I did that with Lawrence Tam. And I did that with Neil Patel. Now, what's really funny is, because I pinned this, I have now. Am I back? Okay, I'm back. I'm back. Okay, you guys aren't screen sharing anymore. Because I did this, if you Google Chris Rushlow quotes and you go to images, that picture will show up. If you Google Dave Wood quotes, because I applied the same thing, when you do the picture and you save the picture as a, as whatever. I basically took each image and treated it as a blog post. So I saved it as, Dave Wood quotes or Aaron Rashkin quotes or Neil Patel quotes. Because that's what happens, right? When you do a blog post, right? What's the first thing you do? You want to add images. So what do? I mean, if it's me, I know what I do. I go to Google and I Google something cool that has to do with my blog post, and I save the image and I just re-upload it, and I upload it into my blog. And I realized that I had a bunch of images that were showing up on Facebook or in the Google search that weren't marketing what I was doing. So instead of doing all that, I did that for a couple different things. I did it with some other bloggers. I did that. Basically, let's just put it this way. What I've done, because I'm just going to show you my little Pinterest page here. But let's just put it this way, because if you're not using Pinterest, like Anna Zubarev, and if you go back through some of the training that she did, and it was hyper technical training, but it didn't really need to be. Pinterest is really just about sharing images. It's like Instagram, but there's I think 70-75% of the people on Pinterest are women. So it's like, so they like cool pictures, and I don't want to sound sexist here, but people I like cool pictures, and if I'm looking for something cool and it's saved as a certain keyword that I'm looking for, odds are, I mean, I can't tell you how much free promoting I've done for other blogs or for other people or for other companies because I used their image in my blog post. And I want that for my own blog. So rather than just jacking somebody's stuff, and this is the whole thing, guys. If you don't have Photoshop, like, you can go to adobe.com and you can actually pay, like, I think it's like $10 a month to use Photoshop. And if you don't use Photoshop, you can probably do it in Microsoft Word or Office or something. You add text to an image. That's all you do. And there's a couple. I like Photoshop because I like to distort photos and things. But you can do this, and this is basically a very simple, very easy, very free way to. And this is why it's also important to get your own, like, custom domain, because all I did was add thatbloggingthing.com to every single image that I'm going to be putting on my blog from now on. And when I do that, and then I share it on Instagram, and when I share it on Twitter, I add one of those pictures and I put it on Twitter. When I do it on Pinterest, I add a picture, and when I do it on Facebook, I add the image. And basically, it's like, because of this, and it's weird. I've had close to about 30 people just out of nowhere just follow me today on Twitter. I got notifications about 4 or 5, 6 people repinning my stuff on Pinterest. I've had a couple people, you know what I mean, from Tumblr and things like that. Like, I'm basically going into some really off the charts kind of social media marketing, because as far as I'm concerned, like, you have a blog, you know what I mean? And it's like, if you're going to rank for SEO, you should rank for other stuff as well, because realistically, this is just kind of one of those things that I was reading. It's like, the more you can spiderweb your site out, the more you can kind of backlink your site out to different stuff, the more traffic you're going to get, and the higher it raises your site up in an authority thing. And I'm not actually looking to see if anybody's really. Do we have any questions or anything on this so far, or is anybody?
Max,
I don't know.
Hey, Max, I got a question for you.
Okay.
So when you go in, so you upload your image to the blog site, right? To building a brand, and then in the title, what are you using for the title, and what are you using for the alt image title?
I'll show you, actually. So basically, well, so here's the thing. I use it for 2 different things. I title the picture. Let's go share this real quick so I can show you. Let's go to posts, all posts. So here, I think this one. Well, let's see. I want to edit this. Can we edit this? We can edit this. You're a border. Oh yeah, that was good. Okay, so dude, I've been having so much fun with this too. So, because I don't know, to me it's like I'm weird. I went to art school and shit. Like, I like all this semi-creative stuff that goes on with this. So I'm just gonna show you, right? So basically, I did this thing. It was called 4 hacks that could help you achieve your goals, right? And it's a really, I mean, it's. So, all right, but anyway, look. So I got my this, right. So I did all these other ones, because, like, everything that I've done, dude, like my last 1, 2, 3, 4, like probably my last 15 images are ones that all have my fucking website on it, except for the Epic Story one. But for this, right, the title is basically set goals, and the alt text is smash your goals. Now, for this one, right. Michael Korda, because this was a pretty cool quote. It was a quote on, like, writing down your goals and why it's important. So the title is Michael Korda quotes on writing goals, and then the alt text is why you should write your goals. So, and the next one was a Tony Robbins, right? Tony Robbins, take action. But then the next one, I wanted it for a different kind of keyword, so it's Tony Robbins quotes about taking action. So this way it could rank generally for, like, both things. Now, this other one that I did, and guys, this is the whole thing, man. All these images, and this, I mean, just look at this, right? So it's a really cheeseball picture of me and it looks like a weird like old Beatles album cover or something. It's like thatbloggingthing.com, great blogging quotes. So the title is thatbloggingthing.com, great blogging quotes, but the alt text is great blogging quotes. Because you know what I had a hard time finding? Great blogging quotes. You know, I was looking for quotes from bloggers, and I had to do some really hardcore research. And then I actually found a post about the top 10 richest bloggers online, and none of them were actually associated with Empower, so I thought that was a pretty cool thing. So I did individual pictures for each one of these guys with my, you know, I took their image, I photoshopped it a little bit, I took the quote and I superimposed it over there, and I gave them full Jake Dobkin quotes on blogging, great blogging quotes from Jake Dobkin, great blogging quotes from Gina Trapini quotes, you know. But each one of these has my website on it. And so they kind of tie in to the post itself, you know, but they don't really, you know, but each, because realistically, like, but what I did was, so pretty much like when you see the, stop sharing. So when you see the post, you know, let's just put it this way. Let's say you're Googling one of these people, because that's pretty much what I've kind of figured out. Like, I named the site That Blogging Thing. So because of that, like, what am I going to write about? Well, I'm a blog about blogging, you know, and realistically, I think for me to get more traffic, I'm not a very well-known blogger yet. So what am I going to do? I'm going to blog about bloggers, you know, people that are famous in the industry, people that are popular, people that people want to talk about, people that people want to research, people that people want to know. And because of that, I mean, I've had a few of those top 10, like, you know, wealthiest bloggers. I've had those images repinned. You know, I've had some traffic coming in from those images. Because that's the other thing, though, too. It's kind of like, you know, when you do keyword research, like, you're looking for a keyword that not a lot of people have. You know, and what I've done is basically, I look for images of people, and I look for images, or I look for cool quotes from people, or I look for cool things, you know, because if I'm going to do a blogging site, right, like, you'd think you'd want some motivational, you know, because I don't want, like, Arnold Schwarzenegger, you know, I'll be back quotes on my blog site. That has nothing to do with blogging. But at the same time, it's like if I can get some cool quotes from bloggers, that just kind of adds more validity to the site. Now, at the same time, you know what I figured out? Nobody has blogging quotes. Like, you don't get it, because most bloggers aren't like big, like rah-rah, like, hey, interview me, people. You know, they're just normal people. So I did some really hardcore, like, research on these guys where I was like, I would find the name. I found like the top 10 wealthiest bloggers, and these guys and most of these guys are like tech people. You know, it's like, God, man, TechCrunch. One guy made TechCrunch. The other guy. These guys are all like nerds. You know what I mean? Like, they're super nerds. Except for Gina Trapini. And Gina Trapini was one of the founders of like Lifehacker, which is huge. Like, that's a huge site. But there is not – I only found one other image of her with an actual quote next to it. Now, here's the thing, man. This is the chick that basically, like, started Lifehacker. You think somebody's going to research her? You think somebody's going to do some, you know, whatever? So, like, basically, like, that image will pop up in a search for images for her. So if somebody uses that and they go, man, that's a pretty cool quote, I want to use that, and guess what? I get free advertising. At the same time, it's like when you look at images and stuff, you know, when you do a Google search for images, it'll show you the picture, but it'll show you the blog post, and it'll say, like, go to that site. So as far as I'm concerned, man, it's all about just generating traffic, and the more you can kind of spiderweb yourself out there, and the more you can get your links out there, and the more you can do whatever. And this is so simple. Like, this is so friggin' simple. Like, and I've actually figured this out to where it's like, and I'm literally just going to lay out my entire, like, oddball, screwball marketing strategy here. I'm going to have a bunch of pictures of myself, and I'm going to give myself some really cool quotes. And I'm going to put my face next to a quote. And then I'm going to be like, great motivational quotes. And it's going to be me, like this. You know, it's going to be super stuff. But if somebody sees it and somebody likes the picture, they go, man, that's a cool quote. I think I want to use that. Because that's what happens, man. Like, you know, most of the time when you're looking for a cool quote, you don't really care who wrote it if it's a cool quote. But then you go, wait, who is this person? And I'm interested more in what they're doing.
Can you go back to your blog? I want to see something because I just logged back into my blog. I wanted to go to my media library and check this out because so what I was trying to figure out is you had, this is your Collado blog, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the URL, why won't this work here?
What are you trying to figure out? The URL in the image?
Yeah, so when you click on the picture, let me make sure I'm seeing you. When you click on the picture, it brings up.
I think it's easier to look at your media if you go to like your click on the featured image. Featured image should come up. We'll give you stuff. The URL is just going to be your images. But I think. But at the end of it, it's setgoals.jpg. You know, this thing of Udison Fen, who's like uber nerd, but he started R3 Media, which is huge. The title of the thing is Great Blogging Quotes from Udison Fen.jpg in the URL. But it'll always backlink to like the site and the image itself. You want that.
Okay, so let me look at this. I just want to make sure that everybody's clear on this, and because if I'm not getting it, so can we update? Oh, why was I not seeing this?
What?
Yeah, so you have to go into
Are you talking about upload files or?
yeah, so let me unshare your screen and let me share my screen. I'll show you what I just found. Okay, so hang on. Okay, hang on. Okay.
Okay, so Gary's on, Talon's on.
All right, so can you see me?
Hold on, I'm looking. Yes.
Okay, so let me just go back here so everybody can see what I was seeing, and this is what I was trying to figure out where you were going, Max, and because so here's an image that I copied off the web. It kept the file name. It kept the native file name.
Yeah.
Even though I changed the title and the alt text.
Doesn't matter. See, and this is why it's important. So this is what I do, and this is an easy way to do it. So when I save it, I'll download it directly to my computer, and then I'll open it in. And yes, Betty Jean, you can use Canva. In like a Canva or a Photoshop or a Microsoft something, and I'll add some extra stuff to it, and then save as the title that I want it to be.
Well, here's an even more ninja trick. So let me show you this. So if you go here, click on Edit More Details.
Okay. Ooh, I like
this. Is right in Collado.
I like this.
This brings you to this. Now you can edit. You can edit it right from here.
Badass.
So you can change the caption, change the alt text. You can, insert the description. You can fix all of that right here in Collado.
Right. Right.
Cool.
But
Okay.
cool. Yeah. So, but like the only thing you can add is like something to the image, though, right?
No. Yeah, you can't. Yeah, you can't do that. But I think, yeah. Yeah, that's a question. I guess if you edit the image yourself and save it, will it pull that in? I should go back in and try that with this image and see what happens with it.
No, because I remember seeing that on a post that you used, and dude, that's an awesome image. You know what I mean? It's the teamwork image. It's the helping people image. So what I would do is if you're gonna re-upload it to the blog itself, before you re-upload it, dude, throw it into something. Throw it into some type of photo program or something where you can like tweak it and like just distort the color a little bit so that it's not the same exact one as the original, and then just add your blog logo or just add your blog URL to it. Because if you do that, man, if you Google search like anything, like cool quotes or this and this and that, all these other people, I mean, it's basically free advertising. And every once in a while, somebody will say, hey, man, that's pretty badass. Like whether they're actually going to the URL or not, the fact of the matter is, it's just like it's extra. And especially it's like if you have a very easy to remember, URL. You know what I mean? If you have a very easy to remember like site name, it kind of sticks in your head, and that's why like when I go for when I buy like URLs and stuff, I want to make sure that it's something that you can remember right off the top. Like the ones that I got Smash Your Gold, and I can't wait for us to have like multiple blogs. Oh my god, man, because I've got louddad.com, which I love. You know what I mean? And that's just going to be like my parenting blog, and it's just going to be about me, my kids, and being a father and being in a relationship and stuff, which I think is like such a great market. You know what I mean? Because I'm sure that there are dads that write blogs, but I've never written a blog about being a dad, and I'm like really fired up for that. But then there's like Smash Your Goals, which is going to be like my entire like sales training blog, and it's just going to be all about like organizing goals and hitting goals and stuff. And it was like the blogging thing, and I'm like, all right, so I named it that blogging thing, and I want it to basically stick to the theme. So in order for me to do this, and just going back on everything that like Neil Patel went over and going over everything else, it's like pick a niche, and blogging, dude, if there's 176 164 million blogs online, dude, it's obviously like and I'm sure that there are people out there who's like, how do I blog better? How can I get better content? How can I do this? I mean, if you got 164 million people out there blogging, or 164 million blogs in general, dude, it's gonna pick up some traction, So that's kind of what I'm saying, and it's like there's always a niche, you know what I mean? There's always something, and I think we went over this like not necessarily last week, but the week before last, the week before last, the week before last, And if you take anything that any of the leaders that we've had on our hangouts have said, man, it's basically and even Amy last week, man, she's like, I love CrossFit, so I started writing about CrossFit. And what Screwball is like, yeah, there are other CrossFit bloggers, but you know what though? Like if I write a blog on blogging and John writes a blog on blogging, guess who I'm going to reach out to and be like, hey man, you got some really cool content, bro. Can I use some of it or whatever? And that's how people start sharing your stuff. And that's the whole thing, guys. It's like, it's not about just being this one second, no man is an island, no blog is an island. And we're marketers, you know what I mean? We're marketing. And maybe not, and if I reach out to John, or if I reach out to Matt, or reach out to somebody else who go, hey man, I really like your blog. And this is the great, and this is just, and it's all coming into play towards like, especially if you start like connecting with people that run heavy duty blogs in your niche, and you start commenting back and forth or whatever, and it was just something that I saw that some of the main guys were doing. They weren't just like, hey man, let me spam my link in the comment stream. It's more like, hey man, I really like what you said, this and that, but I actually did a blog post similar to this, and I think that you may be able to get XYZ results from this by doing this. Oh, by the way, here's the link. Now if you're doing this on people's blogs, and especially, man, because here's the thing, people love information. If I'm, it's kind of like this. Like there aren't too many things that I really enjoy doing, but if you get me started on a subject that I'm really passionate about, I'll love to shoot the shit with you for hours on end. You know what I mean? If we start talking comic books, or we start talking other stuff, or New York City in the 90s, like I can talk, for hours. You've been to that spot, man. That spot was awesome. This spot was great. And because of that, like, it'll bring, because there are people that read this blog, and this is the cool thing, man. Comments don't go away. comment. You could have something up there for 6-7 months on somebody else's post, and somebody could just because that's what happens, man. People read the post, and this is what I've noticed is like a lot of these guys don't write these like super long blog posts, but it seems like they're forever because the comment stream keeps the conversation going, and it basically just adds SEO juice and just it adds traction to the post itself to make that one could be a 200, 300, 500 word blog post and now into like a 5,000, 7,000 word post with all this interaction and all these links going on and all this stuff going on. And hell, man, you could even comment back on somebody. It's like, yeah, this and this, that. No, by the way, I did another post on this. You should check this out. Bam. And now you've got a link going to another blog post, and you can reach out to people. But this is what this is what I was trying to do. It's just back to this. It's like if you're gonna brand yourself, you have to do it in a way that where it's like, guys, and this is what I'm gonna tell you: buy a custom domain and make it something that somebody can remember. Okay, make it easy off the tongue, easy to remember. Really cool, really marketable. I mean, it's like if you look at the biggest labels out there, this is the whole thing, guys. You're a business. And just on a business level, your blog is your online real estate. It should not be like the longest URL in the entire world.com. You know what I mean? Where it's like impossible. It should be something quick, something easy, and not that blogging thing is like the easiest thing to type. It's actually a bit of a pain in the ass to type, but because it's like, what is that? Oh, that blogging thing. And that's kind of how I came up with it. But I think that online blogging thing is still available because that was the actual one that I was going to buy. And my wife was like, it's already online. I'm like, why would you buy that? But back to that, though. All I started doing was taking all of my images, throwing them back into Photoshop or throwing them back into some type of photo thing, tweaking them a little bit, and putting my website on the image and then saving it and whatever. And because of that, like if you Google like Neil Patel images, a couple of my blog post images will actually show up in a Neil Patel blog post search or a Neil Patel image search, and that's kind of what I want to do, and I think realistically, and this is, I don't know, man, obviously this is a pretty, we're a pretty small core team here, so this isn't something that I'm going to be like, hey man, check out this great thing that I just did, but these last couple posts that I've shared with people, the feedback that I got was like, man, those are some really cool images that you used. And I'm like, you're a motherfucker, they're mine. And it's like, because I did them. And that's kind of, it's basically, it's like, don't try to, it's like you can emulate people and you can kind of copy people, but at the same time, start doing your own thing to where, and at the same time, it's like, build your brand. If you look at a guy like Rocky Vega, and Rocky's great at this, man. Like Rocky's, he's got the red, he's got the white sunglasses and whatever. Like, who he is before he walks in the door. It's like, oh, that must be that Rocky guy. And that's kind of what you guys want to do, to where it's like, I want my face to be known, and I want my name to be known, and I want my blog name to be known. Whether you know me or not. And realistically, it's like, and if you're doing content and you're doing cool stuff, like make it something that people want to read. It's almost and it sounds kind of crappy, man, but it's like most people would rather read about Kim Kardashian than they would want to read about what's going on with ISIS. So it's like you can have all, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying, right? So it's screwball, but it's like if you're gonna build traffic, you can have a couple really great, powerful posts that may not get as much engagement. But at the same time, it's like if you're doing some cool, trendy stuff, oh, man. Okay, so, and this is a little nugget here. So one of the things that Gary Vaynerchuk, I don't know, anyway, my brother used to work for him at one of his liquor stores, and he got fired. But one of the things that he was saying is that, like, you can literally, you want to pull some, yeah, why not? Absolutely. If anybody else wants to jump on and ask questions, I'm totally with it. But one of the things that he was saying in jab, 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 right hook was that basically it's like I've been following, like I'll go on Twitter like once a day, twice a day, right? And I will look at, here, I'm just going to screen share this real quick, guys. And this is, oh my God, man, like this is such cool shit. Like, I'm so fired up to be sharing this because I've been like geeking out to myself about this. So does anybody else here use Twitter? Like, I just want to know. Anybody? John does? Okay, cool. So John, I'm just going to show you something real quick, right? So when you go to Twitter, right? So look at this, right? Yeah, so basically 11 minutes ago, this guy and 22 others followed you. 2 minutes ago, somebody just followed me and whatever. I'm getting a lot of like followers. But what I'll do is like in this trending section, I'll figure out what's trending. Like what's Catfish MTV, right? Empire, the TV show. So the Chappie movie, right? UNT Greek Week. What's Greek Week? So I'll look at that, right? I'll click on it. So proud of Team Row, this and this and that. So I'll just, so top, whatever. So UNT Greek Week, guess what I'm going to do? Congrats to all of you at hashtag UNT Greek. I gotta capitalize it, I don't know. UNT Greek Week 2015. You are all done partying, check this out. You know what I'll do? I'll do this. I'll take that. Throw that in there. I'll add a photo because what I found is that stuff with photos just gets better interaction. I'm out of space. So anyway, and just send it. Okay. It's not that difficult. But here's what happens. It's a trending thing on Twitter. So you know what people are doing? They're looking for what else is trending. They'll look for what else is trending, and they'll be like, "What's this? This has something to do with Greek Week," and you'll get followers, and you'll get likes, and you'll get shares because of that. And it's really, because that's the whole thing. It's like you want to stay hip, you want to stay cool, you want to stay relevant. So it's like, if something crazy is going on, you can throw something out there about it. If something, you can. There's so much cool stuff you can do with social media, and this is all I've been kind of just like researching on. So yeah, so find the things that are trending, and just throw it in there. Throw something in there. Add something. The Chappie movie it's being promoted by Sony Pictures, but Empire's on tonight, right? So if you want to do something like take a picture of one of your Empire people. I don't know what the Brit Awards are. And Catfish is a really weird, creepy show, but I'm not going to talk about that. But there's usually something trending every single day, to where like something's going on and people are talking about it. And if you can basically get in the conversation, people are going to look at what's trending and they'll see the posts, and then whoever's tweeting about this or whatever, just favorite their thing and click it and go, man, that was I really like what you're doing.
Well, and really, Max, I think everybody tells you find stuff that's trending and get involved. But more importantly, if you've identified your avatar, if you know what your target market is, go get involved in that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like use the hashtags that they're using. Find the things that they follow. And that's the other thing too. It's like, and this is something that this one guy was saying. It was basically like, so if you're going to be doing Twitter, and I know this is and I have a tendency to do this. I bounce all over the place. So just rewatch this or just ask questions, and I'll always go back to it because this is just how I operate. But find the people that are like have the most followers in your niche, on a Twitter thing or whatever, and then just like comment, retweet, favorite, and then and just add on to it. Like, hey man, that was a really cool thing that you said. Da 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 da. And you'll get free followers off of this stuff, dude. You'll get free shares. You'll get free, tweets and retweets and whatever. not that like Twitter's like this, but Twitter really is. Twitter's like the ADHD like speed market. It's like, hey man, that was really cool. Oh man, you said you like that. All right, I'm gonna follow you now. And that's all you need. And and it's basically, if you get enough interaction from people. But that's what I'm saying though. Like I will literally take, and this is, and oh man, and this is the cool thing, guys. Like, and if you have a Pinterest, like you can easily get like a pin it option for your search engine. For your. I use Chrome. I don't know, but like if you go to Pinterest, you can get like the pin it button. I'm just gonna screen share this again. It's the simplest thing in the entire world. Like just set up a really. You don't have to do anything crazy because look, this is all it is. You see this right here? It's a pin it button. You know how I got that? I went to Pinterest and I opened up a Pinterest account. They go, hey man, add Pinterest to your whatever this thing, your bar. And I added it to my bar. So now anything that I want to look at, where it's like, all right, let's just go look on Twitter. 49 new tweets, right? Going on. But, all right, so let's just, I don't know. I follow a lot of weird people. But let's just say this, right? So, like, pin it. I can pin that. Pin that. I'm going to pin it to my Pinterest board. You know what I'm going to call it? And that's the other thing, though, too. So I'm going to add this to, I'm going to create a marketing board. I'm going to pin that. So you know what? That image is pinned to my marketing board. And you know what I did? I did that on a meme generator. One of those crazy, it was real cheap. I did it on my cell phone, but it was like meme generator or something. It's one of those weird apps. But I think it's a funny meme. It's like, back in my day, we made a list of friends and family. And now that I think about it, and I thought it was a great meme that I did. And then look, you got Morpheus, right? And he's like, what if I told you getting leads was simple? And I don't know why I didn't do this before. So, yeah. So guess what? When you go to that, when you look at that picture, it's going to give you an automatic link back to my site. And I might get some free posts from it. I might get some free traffic to it. But you know what? When people follow you and people like what you're putting out there, they'll share it, they'll repin it, they'll repost it, they'll reuse it, this and that. And it's that friggin' simple. So if you wanted some real easy, like real simple, easy, and this is some real ninja stuff. It's not like black hat SEO nonsense. It's more just like this is some real simple stuff that you can do to just like that other people aren't doing. Because I haven't seen any, and how I know that other people aren't doing it because I haven't seen anybody else doing it because I'm a weird research. I go 12 steps beyond what I should be doing to research stuff. Sometimes just to make sure. Like reverse engineering, backwards engineering stuff because I like to. So now that I'm actually talking about this, I think I want to. This is actually what kind of inspired me to do it. Let's just see if it shows up so far. Oh no, wait. Here's David Wood. No. Okay. But I like to know that other people are seeing what's going on. And it may take a day or two for it to pop up on a search engine. But if you can get your images on a Google search engine, that's what you want. That's really what you want. Because I'll show you, like, here, I'm going to screen share this real quick. And the reason, and actually one of the major reasons I started doing this was because when I was looking, because when I write a post on somebody, or when I write a post on somebody, or when I do a blog about somebody, I like to get, so let's just put it this way. Since I met Neil Patel, I've been writing a lot of shit about Neil Patel because he has a huge following, and I figured if I can get some people to come and read my stuff because I'm writing about Neil Patel, that's cool. So basically, scrolling down, and there's a ton of like pictures of him, ton of pictures of Neil, ton of pictures, ton of pictures, ton of pictures, ton of pictures. You know, but look, somebody's in power thing is there for Neil Patel. You know, and if you keep scrolling, I doubt that anybody's going to scroll down this far. But like 2 or 3 of my pictures from my blog post is somewhere in here. And actually, I think or somewhere in this. Like, that's really funny. He's got some chick at Neil Patel, like tattooed on her butt, which I think is great. That's when you know you made it big time. When random people start getting your name tattooed on their back. But look, it's another empower thing right there. Another empower thing right there. Like, people are doing it and they're posting it, but you know what they're not doing? They're not putting their own links on this. So that in and of itself, to me, is crazy, because that's kind of what you want. You know, you want people to find your images. I'm not sure that.
One thing you should be able to do, so I think if you right-click those images, it should pull up the properties of the image. Pull up one of those and see what comes up. Let's see.
Properties? Inspect element?
No, that's going to be HTML.
Yeah. But look, I mean, Google Plus, QuickSprout Google Plus, you know.
Yeah.
But it'll give you some cool stuff. You know, I forgot where I found it. So like there's some cool stuff that Neil did, right? Like there's some cool stuff from Neil. Am I still screen sharing? I am still screen sharing. Okay. But like, cause I like Neil Patel. I think he's a pretty legit dude. You know, and that's actually like the name of his company was kind of a big deal. This is from, but if you notice, like all these, right? Onboardly.com, quoteimg.com, slideshare.net, Texas this, da 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 da, my site auditor. All these will give you the link. There you go, bam. Thatbloggingthing.com under Neil Patel. And then I think that there are a few other ones. Koga. But that's the Revolution event. So obviously people are doing it, building a brand online. Like, people are using it, but you know what they're not doing? They're not putting their actual image on the image. You know, and I did this because I was I was trying to do this thing for Chris Rushlow, right? Because I asked him about it yesterday. So Chris, right? Chris, what? Bam! Look at that! Holy crap! No, restart later. I don't want you to restart. So look, because I've been doing posts on people, first page, and I mean, obviously, like, hide private things, but Chris Rushlow quotes, refresh, bam, oh my God, this is so good. Okay, so thatbloggingthing.com, I come up, let's see if the other one comes up. Come on. So I need to go back and like retweak some of those. But look, thatbloggingthing.com, because I know that's my image. So I'm going to rank for certain stuff because I'm using keywords and people in my blog posts, and that's badass actually, because I'm like right there at the top. So guess what? I'm now on the Chris Rushlow, David Wood, Chris Rushlow. I don't know who that guy is. That's me. And then Paul Hutchins, me. I don't know who that guy is. I don't know who that is. I don't know. Cheso something. I don't know who you are. Is that Zuckerberg? I don't know. I don't think so. But then, who's that guy? I don't know. Okay. But basically, I'm up there right now in the image part with top people in Empower. Now that we're doing this, and this is why you want to do this stuff, guys, because this is some cool shit. So let's talk Jake Dobkin, because now that I'm on here, so Jake Dobkin is kind of a big deal. Oh, yes! And you know what that is? That is my image that I just posted 2 days ago, currently hiding proven results, right? Jake Dobkin. And you know the only image here with a Jake Dobkin quote is mine. And you know what else comes up? This one. And you know what else comes up? Oh, fuck, dude, I'm a genius. I hate to say that, but guys, just do this, okay? Because that right there, because I haven't actually tested this yet. I just want to see what would happen. But that's the whole thing, right? So, do you guys know who Jake Dobkin is? No? No idea?
I have no idea. I've never heard of the guy.
Okay. Jake Dobkin, the Gothamist. It's a thing for New York, but I guarantee it. So like this other dude, right? Tim Sykes. Tim Sykes like started his own like online. Oh man, that is so badass. So Dobkin writes The Gothamist. Tim Sykes writes TimSykes.com, but it's or TimothySykes.com. It's basically like an investor site for like for what do you do? Stock market. And then like I did one for Pete Cashmore, and Pete Cashmore like runs he started Mashable, which I'm pretty sure you heard of, like Mashable.com. I did one for like Michael Arrington, and Michael Arrington started TechCrunch, you know, and then this other guy. So all these guys, like basically, I did something for, like outside of our normal niche, to where like my images are now posted up and they're showing because they're shared, and I guess people are sharing these already. So that was kind of what I did. I started Googling people in the industry, in the niche, that weren't even so much like affiliates, weren't even so much empower people, because that's the whole thing, right? When people want to start writing blogs or whatever, like what are you looking for? You're looking for people that want to join what you're doing. Now, so this is the cool thing though, Matt. This is a great idea for you. You know what you need to do, you unlikely Marine? You need to get some of your fucking pictures, and you need to put that unlikely Marine. But you know what else you need to do? You need to do a blog post of like the 10 greatest Marines, or like the 50, you know, the top 10 greatest Marine quotes, or the top 10 greatest whatever. Because I guarantee you, if you Google it, actually I'm going to Google it for you. Top 10.
Yeah. No, I can do that. There's definitely stuff about like famous Marines, like Chesty Puller, famous in the Marine Corps.
Okay.
Someone else said stuff. Oh, that's. Yeah.
Okay, so look, if you actually, and there man, there's a ton. So, but there's a ton of cool like Marine quotes, right? Like great Marine quotes. But you could do like, dude, you could do so much like military quotes, or just like veteran quotes, or something, where now basically somebody's going to Google it, somebody's going to look it up, somebody's going to see it, and then it says theunlikelymarine.com. I want to see what that's all about. And it'll actually link to your post, link to this, and then somebody's going to like, comment, share, whatever, and you might get some signups. You know what I mean? And this is the simplest thing in the world, guys. Like, oh my God, that just fired me up so much. Because all I did on that post, dude, I'm talking, now I'm actually going to, oh my God, Gina Trini, right? Oh, dude, that just fired me up like beyond belief. Because I'm not even going to do it, but I want to see now. Torino Gina Trino quotes. Because I guarantee you nobody's fucking got it. But I don't think I spelled it right. Damn you, Scuba Steve. This is what happens. I get all fired up. I forget what I'm doing. But like, this is what you can do, guys. Like, if you're going to do a niche, like, dude, find some great quotes. Like, all of you guys write some great content right now. And you just need to basically, and this is so ninja, guys. This is so ninja. This is so legit. And it's the easiest way to get some super free traffic. And all you do, and you can take that image, and if you're doing Instagram, you know what you do? You put it on Instagram with your URL across the bottom of it. And you go da-da-da-da, and then you hashtag it for your keyword. And then you put it on Pinterest, and you hashtag it for your keyword. And then you put it on Tumblr, and you hashtag it for your keyword. And you put it on Google, and you hashtag it for your keyword with a link to your blog. Welcome to some unbelievable free traffic.
that nobody else is doing. And when you get your first income disclosure here, but I'm telling you, man, when you start getting some like real easy out of nowhere traffic, my PayPal, no, I'm just playing, but but this is it's something that I brainstormed on over the weekend. And I mean, I was up in Boston, and just to close this off, guys, I was up in Boston freezing my ass off, man. And it really was. Like, I made money up there, but it was the most miserable selling atmosphere I've ever been in. Like, negative 15 degrees. I'm walking door to door selling fucking – not even walking. I was like cherry picking my businesses. But, like, literally I'm going business – and I sold about 150 pieces out there, man. I sold about 7-8 grand worth of shit out there. But it was miserable, man. It was so miserable. And it was cold and it was windy, and I was getting, like, this ocean effect. And there was, like – 8-foot snowstorm and hills, and I had this crappy little Mazda rental car. It was a 2-wheel drive thing, and I was getting stuck in the. I was like, I can't do this for the rest of my life, and I was like, I need to do something, and I need to think something. So I figured it out, and I was like, we're gonna do something that nobody else is doing, because everyone else is gonna teach you how to SEO stuff and all this other stuff, and yes, you should do that, but do the little extra work. Do something that nobody else is doing. Figure out what people in your niche are not doing, and because that's the real thing that hit me, man. Because I was one of the guy that started TechCrunch, right? He had this quote. He was like, great startups come when a scratch needs to be itched. You know what I mean? And like you find a void, you find that small void, and it's the internet, man. There's a lot of big small voids out there. You find something that nobody else is doing, and you exploit the shit out of it. And that's the real thing. You know what I mean? You exploit it. You exploit the, it's like fighting. It's like anything else. You know what I mean? It's like you find the weakness, and you just go for it, and you go for it, and you go for it, and you go for it until it's like, bam, I conquered this. And you know what nobody else is doing? Nobody else is doing this. Or at least if they're doing it for their own like healthcare companies, or they're using, and this is the whole thing, guys. Like all the stuff that Empower's made, and all the banners and all the other stuff are cool. Take it, throw it in something, and put your damn URL on it. I'm so serious. Or just make the image a little bit bigger and throw your picture in there. Brand yourself, okay? You are not the company. You are not the company. You run a blog. You run your own business. You run your own online business, okay? Do you want people to join Empower, or do you want people to join you? Do you want people to join iPass, or do you want people to join you?
Well, and better yet, track those links.
Yeah.
So put in a tracking link, and you can see what's working.
That's the whole thing. I remember Lisa Torres when we had her on. That was months ago. She was saying that she wrote one blog post on the guy that started Amway, right? And nobody read it for a year. And then all of a sudden, one dude reads it, joins, and goes all in. So that's the whole thing, man. This may not be an overnight thing. This may not get you 1,000 hits a day on your blog. This may not get you 1,000 signups ever. But you know what, though? You start doing it, you start doing it, you start doing it, and what happens is you start doing something that nobody else is doing, okay? And you know what, man? And I'll share this with this group and this group only. Dude, I would love to see. I mean, hell, man, and I know most of you guys aren't going to do this, for whatever. And it does. It takes time. It's a little bit tedious, whatever. But for those of you guys that do this, listen, this is the easiest way to brand yourself, okay? And it's what do people remember? They remember pictures, they remember colors, they remember bright things, they remember names, they remember whatever, But I can tell you this, man. When people, it's kind of like this. You ever go to the restaurant and order a Coke? Hey, you want a Coke? And even though you want a soda, they'll just call it a Coke. You know what I mean? Like there's certain brands that have just become the name for the product. Okay, that's what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? I want to be, when somebody talks about blogging, they're like, oh, Max, yeah, that guy with that screwed up last name, I can't even pronounce it. Yeah, like I want to be that guy. And the only way to do that is by literally getting as much stuff out there as possible. And all I'm doing, guys, is I'm throwing an image into Photoshop, I'm throwing something on there, and I'm adding my URL to it. Does this make sense? Like, just how simple this is. I'm
It's
glad you
simple.
went.
I like it. It's simple and just like that's all you gotta do and just post and all you're doing is taking keyword, put in the picture and post a picture to other like Pinterest, Instagram, and then I guess Tumblr too, and then
Yeah.
all the other picture sites. That's it.
Yeah, and Scott, I am hilarious, but this is the thing, man. Like I take everything I do like crazy. Like I don't overanalyze to the point where I kill myself. If anything, like I'm more of a let's see what happens when I stick my hand in the hole, kind of guy. So it's like I'll try I'll try just about anything, and it's like yes, there are some very proven methods to doing this, and I'm doing all those. But then it's like okay, cool. So what can I do to kind of get the one up on everybody else? Because I'm not at this. I don't want to spend tens of $1,000s on paid traffic right now, but I do want to get some really good traffic. So what am I going to do? I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to cheat, and it's not really cheating because everybody else is doing it, but not everybody else is doing it the right way. You guys are all putting images on your blog. You guys are all, I guarantee you, dude, every single one of you guys have gone to Google, found a cool graph, or found a cool picture, and taken it and put it on your blog. Right? And I guarantee you, if you look back at those images, half of those images have somebody else's URL. They do. They have somebody else's they have somebody else's link. They have somebody else's website. They have somebody else's name on there. And you're giving them free advertising. You know what I mean? And when somebody clicks on that image, they go, "Oh man, that's pretty cool." Oh wait, who's this? Who's Gene such and such? I don't know. That guy must have something to do with what you're doing. You can take the same image, throw your name on it, throw your blog on it, throw your face on it, and now you're famous. And if somebody finds you in that niche, you become an authority. I guarantee you, man, because this is the one thing, right? So if you can rank for a keyword once, you rank for it 4 or 5 times. And if you own the search engine with your name, your face, your blog, your images for that keyword, you're an authority. Whether you want to be or not, you're an authority. And people will now look to you and be like, man, this person must really know what they're doing, or I really like their creative style. There's something that's going to attract people to you. Okay?
And that's how you make money blogging and become successful, ladies and gentlemen. Max Schuha style.
And I did this in an hour. Okay, so it's a very
boom, awesome. I got done, dude. That was simple. It makes sense. I have no questions. Other than that, I mean, this makes my blogging a lot. It makes it a lot more simple to rank. So now I'm like, oh, I have pictures of my blog now. Let me go back and put some stuff in there, like my link.
Yeah.
Wait, quick question though.
Answer.
I have Windows as my operating system,
Right?
or PC. So does the guy come with Photoshop? What did you use for? You said you use Photoshop for.
I use Photoshop. I pay for Photoshop though. When I get it,
Okay.
I pay. It's like $9.97 a month to use Photoshop. I downloaded it from Adobe because I didn't want to pay $600-700 for the actual program, but they kind of rent it to me. You know what I mean? But you can use like.
I have Snagit.
Huh?
Well,
I have Snagit.
Betty Jean suggested Canva, and a lot of people do use Canva for that. So that's something you can use. It's pretty easy.
Yeah,
and it's free.
Yeah, you can use Canva. You can do other stuff, but I mean, like I don't know. I went to school for graphic design, so like I like all the weird options that Photoshop has, like whatever. You can do it with Canva.
Once you learn, once you kind of know how to use Photoshop, then it becomes secondhand. But I think that's a problem with Photoshop for a lot of people is.
Oh, it's so overwhelming when you're brand new to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it took. I had to play around with it for like 2 days before I even like refreshed myself on it because I haven't used it in like years. But then I was like, oh, okay, so this is what this does and this is what that does. But yeah, you can use Canva. I mean, there are some other like free. I'm not sure what operating system you're using on Windows, Matt. I would actually. would recommend Canva over getting any of the apps that you have to download for like Windows, the new Windows, because they suck. Because like usually they want you to pay for them. If they'll let you do stuff, but you can't actually save it or add anything to it. But yeah, Canva's great. Like you can use Canva, you can use I don't know. I'm sure that if you threw it into like Microsoft Word or whatever, like because you can put images in Microsoft Word and then just add text over the image and just like save it as a JPEG and then just like re-upload it into your blog.
I've heard of people using what's the meeting software?
Go to the meeting.
GoToMeeting.
PowerPoint.
Oh, PowerPoint? Yeah.
Yeah, basically just uploading the image as a PowerPoint slide, making the modifications, because you can drop text and you can format text and do all sorts of stuff. You can use that in PowerPoint, and then save the slide as a JPEG or a any kind of any other kind of graphics format. So it's actually kind of interesting.
Look, it's Max's son on the last minute.
Have you guys seen Big
that,
Hero
guys.
6 yet? Have you guys seen Big Hero 6?
No, I don't want to see that.
Dude, it's awesome. No, it's awesome. We watched Baymax. And he goes, what does he do? He goes, fa la 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 la. No, but it's awesome. It's awesome. But yeah, like there's a lot of cool programs and you can do it with PowerPoint. You can do it with Canva. So guys, it's so simple to rank for a keyword like that. I mean, if you're doing like great quote, like I've been doing them for a lot of quotes, man. But all right, Chell. You can do them for you can do it for. I mean, if you're doing posts on like I know Talon did like that post on why you should drink water. Like you could literally like have about 4 or 5 posts on there about why you should drink water with your URL on there to your blog. And that's such an easy way to get free traffic to your blog because I know some of those images were taken like probably from a Google search or whatever. Yes. I know. I love you too. So, but yeah, that's seriously. Good. I know. Yeah. So, but that's such a simple, easy way to get traffic, guys. It's such an easy, simple way. It's gonna be funnier when you see your image on somebody else's blog, because I guarantee you it's gonna happen. If you put some cool like charts together, and actually, I was thinking about doing it because everyone was like, you need to do like infographics. And I was like, I don't really want to put the time into doing infographics yet, but I can make some cool because I used to do flyers for like parties in New York. And that's all I did. I would take an image, and I'd Photoshop it, and I'd throw some text over it, and I made some cool flyers. So I was looking at it like basically I'm making cool flyers for my blog that will get shared and will drive traffic and will get people to know what's going on. Make sense?
Makes sense.
He smells like poop, so I gotta go change his diaper real quick.
Well, on that note, let's end this. You can change the diaper. All right, everyone. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you all tomorrow. If you're new, click link below, join our team, get access to more training like this. And see you all later. Good night.
Yeah. Peace.